Hello, this is Barney Cargill with your encouraging word for today on Wednesday, April the 6th. And our word for today is attention. You know, lots of times we have questions about God or for God that we ask, and especially in the midst of this crisis that we're going through right now, we wonder, what's God doing? God, where are you? Is God trying to get our attention? Now, there's lots of questions that we just don't have the answer to, but I can tell you the answer to that last question. Is God trying to get our attention? The answer is yes. Yes, God is trying to get our attention. In fact, God is always trying to get our attention. Because if you're like me, and I know we all are, we get so sidetracked, so distracted by the things of this world that sometimes there's so much going on around us that we don't hear God's voice. We can't still our hearts long enough to say, "What are you saying, God?" C.S. Lewis wrote this. He says, God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Our world is deaf to what's going on. We're blinded in some ways also to what's going on. Now, think about it like this. Think about our kids. You know, it's not a good idea to yell at your kids. We should not yell at our kids. But let's face it, there's times when we all need to yell at our kids and get their attention. If you have a small child and they're running out on the road in front of a speeding car, what are you going to do? You're going to go, "Now, little Billy, you shouldn't run in the street." No! You're going to say, "Get out of the way! What are you doing?" You're going to yell because why? You need to get their attention. And I believe God's trying to get our attention big time through this crisis, the coronavirus, and cause us to wake up and think, regardless of what we think about it or whatever. He's trying to get our attention because in our nation, we have drifted off course a long ways. You know, oftentimes in his parables, Jesus closed with this phrase. He said, "He that has ears to hear, let him hear." In other words, what he's saying is, listen, I'm trying to get your attention. In the book of Revelation, to each one of the 7 churches at the beginning of Revelation that Jesus spoke to, he always closed out his statements with this phrase, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." Some of them that weren't doing so good, some of them that were doing really, really good. It doesn't matter. God's trying to get our attention. So what I would encourage you to do today is just pause. Take some time, maybe each morning. Just get alone with God and listen. And during the day, even when you're busy, pause for a moment and say, "God, what are you saying to me?" Because God is always trying to get our attention. And that's our encouraging word for today.